Hello, listening friends, and welcome to this episode of Truth Matters. I'm Michelle, and here on Truth Matters our teacher, Frank Thomas, discusses biblical topics from a Reformed theology perspective. This week, his topic is the Mosaic Laws, the laws given by God to the Israelites through Moses which can be found in the Old Testament of the Bible. And now, here's Frank.
And today we're going to answer the question, what is the law as it pertains to the Bible? The first 5 books of the Bible are known by Jewish people as the Torah, which in English means the law. The Torah is where you'll find these 613 commandments, most of which were given by the Pharisees or the Jewish priests of that day to help the Jewish people not to come close to offending most of the 10 commandments. They are presented in 3 categories in the Bible. The famous theologian Thomas Aquinas explained that there are 3 types of biblical precepts given to Moses on Mount Sinai. The moral law. The moral law reveals the nature and will of God and still applies to us today. We do not obey this moral law as a way of obtaining salvation, but to live in a way pleasing to God. The ceremonial laws. These are related to Israel's worship. The law points forward to Jesus Christ and were no longer necessary after Jesus' death on the cross and his resurrection. Though we are no longer bound by them, the principles behind the ceremonial laws to worship and love God still apply. Now, the judicial laws. These set of laws dictate Israel's daily living situation. But now, our modern society and culture are so radically different that some of these guidelines can't be followed specifically. The principles behind the commandments are to guide our conduct. The 10 Commandments, or God's law, had 3 main purposes. First, to show people their need of a Savior. Second, to show them how to function as a nation, and to direct the believer's behavior as directed in the behavior laws. There are the ceremonial laws. Israel's prescribed pattern of worship for approaching God. This was meant to prepare and to educate the nation in preparation for Messiah's work. Specifically, they were taught about substitutionary atonement and the seriousness of sin. It was also meant to give Israel a distinct cultural and national sacrificial system of religious feasts and the Sabbath, the ritual system regarding ceremonial purity. You have to remember that these laws were given to and for the Jews, not the Gentiles, with the exception of those Gentiles who wanted to switch over to Jewish worship as Jews did. and they were called proselytes. Now, these laws have been fulfilled by Christ's work on the cross, and the sacrifices for sins are now expressly forbidden. Ritualism in any form is now set aside for a personal relationship with God. And they are changed from hundreds of rituals and rules to just two: baptism and participation in communion. Great details on how to observe rituals, to virtually no details. There are no rituals. From a foreshadowing role, a picture of how God will solve our sin problems, to commemorative roles. God did, once and for all, to relieve us, believers, of our sin debt. For a more complete understanding of the Mosaic Law, just Google "describe Mosaic Law" and be prepared to do a lot of reading. After you finish, you'll appreciate what the grace of God is all about.
Thanks, Frank, and thank you, listening friends, for sharing some of your time with us today. If you enjoyed this presentation, please share it with others. You know how this algorithm thing works. Till next time, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time, here on Truth Matters.